say we've mastered, I'm just gonna wait for that siren to go by. I don't know if you guys can hear that. All right, I think we're in the clear. Say we've mastered the two-legged squat, and we're doing, 2 to 3 sets of two-legged squats, maybe without using a lot of weight, but, with just using the weight of our body. Then where I would go from there, is into the world where we start to explore lunges. Now, lunges are going to be similar to squats in their sort of their goals, right? Strengthening of the hips and balance between the quadriceps and the glutes. Something really important that a lunge gives you that a squat doesn't. A squat and a lunge both are parts of a transfer. And the squat is the part of the transfer where you get in and out of a chair, up and down off the toilet, in and out of bed, in and out of a car. Super important, right? The lunge it helps you get up and down off the ground. So if you lose a lunge capacity, you're going to lose that ability. Lunges, because they're asymmetrical, because the right and left sides are not doing the same thing, they mimic walking and hiking a little bit better. So when people are not strong enough for their lunges, I know that they're going to struggle on the hiking trails. So I still don't have my hiking pole set up correctly. I am really lame at hiking poles, you guys. Maybe I'm lame, maybe the poles are lame. I don't know. I'm sure it's me. It's got to be user error. Okay, so let's try to get some hiking poles for balance. I want to show you guys the best way to start to get a lunge, okay? First of all, hiking poles should be a little bit higher. They should be about my elbow level, so don't do as I do with these poles. I'm going to just use them here for balance. You can use your foam roller too for balance, anything that's not tippy. I'm going to step my right leg back, my left leg is forward. Now, the width of my legs is going to be about my hip distance apart. And I really want to take time to notice that I'm neutral. My spine is neutral, meaning one hip is not higher than another. I'm not in a big sway back like I might be if I was really upright. So hopefully there's a long line from the back of my head down to this back right heel. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that. Now from here, I'm thinking of pulling my left heel, which is this front leg, and my right toes together. From here, I'm going to breathe out and breathe in. Now, believe it or not, it has taken me a long time to get this lunge. You may start just here, okay, holding, and you may try to bend a little and go, that doesn't feel good. Okay, no big deal. When you are in this isometric or when you're moving, where you want to experience it is primarily here, in the side and back of the front hip, okay? So this is called a static lunge. Now my favorite version of a more active lunge is a reverse lunge. So that would be where you're starting up at the top, you've got your legs a good hip distance apart, you're gonna step back and come down. Into the lunge, come back up to the top. You can do this with poles, or without, depending on how you feel, how steady you feel. Never sacrifice your steadiness for taking your supports away, all right? So that is a reverse lunge. Another common lunge that we will do in our class is a side lunge. And again, I like to start those in a static position. So legs are nice and wide. We're gonna bend into one side, and then we'll come back up. I want to show this from the side as well. Same thing at the pelvis though. You want to notice that my pelvis is not rotating. A lot of times when I see this in class, somebody's hips are swishing out to usually the side they're lunging toward. Or sometimes also what I see is where people's knees are shooting forward. So you want to be sitting back. Weight is in your heel. Your knee is not driving excessively forward because you want to keep this more gluteal dominant, okay? You can get to the place where it's too butt dominant, and that's maybe where you're all the way down here, but you might be working on something else at that point, okay? Now let me show you the stepping version of those side lunges. I'll step to the side and maybe with a weight in my hand or no weight. Okay. All right. Another variation that we sometimes do in class is called a clock lunge. So imagine that you're standing on a clock face. 12 o'clock is in front of you, 6 o'clock is behind you, 3 o'clock is over to your right, and then 9 o'clock would be over to your left. So we're gonna move one leg through these different directions, okay? I like to start out with my leg moving towards 6 first. It's just a personal preference. I feel like it starts to set me up for a better lunge. I'm gonna go out to a 3 o'clock. I don't have quite a lot of space here, so, and then back for sort of more of a curtsy lunge back up to the top. So again, I go 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you could do this with weight in your hands, 3 o'clock, and then you're kind of towards 9 o'clock, you're sort of more towards 8 o'clock, and then back up to the top. You can repeat on the other side. Another variation of a lunge you can do is a Bulgarian squat, where your back leg will be up and you're going to take a hopping step forward. Make sure your chest is forward. You're going to bias this to your front hip, okay? You're going to come down and back up. So notice that I'm not cranking my back into extension. I'm staying in that kind of 40 degrees-ish range, and I'm really focusing on pressing through that front heel to drive my lift. Now another variation you can do is a step up. Let's see if I can demo that. You can use poles, but because I can't, I'm not very good at adjusting them. I'm going to set them to the side. I'm going to again hinge at my hip, drive through my heel, push up, reverse that as I come down. Same thing, other side. Pelvis stays nice and neutral. You can work on those a little bit. Okay. So those are our lunge variations that we tend to use in class, and we'll just modify them by adding weight or taking weights away. From there, once you get great at your lunges, and especially side and reverse lunges, you start to progress into single leg squats. So in our next video, let's look at those single leg squats.